All right, this is week one review. The account is up $488.60. So it was a net green week. I'm going to run through each trade or each trading day and just give my thoughts on the trades that I took. So on Monday, I opened with a short that ended up being a look below and fail. So I was essentially short at the low of the day, which is not a good place to be. But at the time, I thought if I move over here, I thought when we broke down that we could flush lower, and we didn't. So I ended up closing that for a small loss. And in this case, I not only closed it, but I went the other way. So I flipped long, and then I ended up exiting near the high of this consolidation. So overall, this was a pretty good trading day because being wrong doesn't feel that great, but I didn't pay a lot to be wrong. And being wrong about that trade gave me a lot of information for the next trade. So I was able to make a really good trade on the day. So I would say overall this was a 9 out of 10 day for me. 10 out of 10 just being trading with trading well with no losses. So this is this was a pretty good day. Moving into Tuesday. Tuesday was my worst day. I just traded horribly. Let's see what happened. Okay, so on Tuesday I tried to short again. Yeah, I tried to short again, and I got stopped out. So I was risking near this high right here, and I got stopped. Yeah, so I was shorting. I was short again. I ended up shorting at the lows, which at the time, it kind of looked like this. I thought it could roll. It didn't. So I got stopped out. And then I tried a long to break the range to the upside, and that failed. And then I got stopped out again. And then that was the end of the trading for the day. So I would say that with Tuesday, I actually don't mind that first trade of shorting because now that I look at it, it's like, yeah, I shorted a low. But at the time, there was potential to go either way. It was not a great trade, but it was not as horrendous as it looks looking at it now in the moment. Now it just looks awful. I think where I made the mistake is, so the short didn't work and I have enough information that I want to go long. That I'm fine with. I did that successfully on Monday. But what I did here was I was too greedy with the second trade. And when we came up to the range high, I should have just got out. But instead I waited. I waited for it to maybe do a break and retest or just more continuation, which I don't know is necessarily bad, but I don't think on a day like today there's really the grounds to look for that because it goes to the top of range, which is fine, but we're still just in range. It never really broke. So I stopped out, and then we got this was more the short I was looking for, but just from here. So this part right here. But I didn't trade it. I called it a day. So this was really a 4 out of 10 day. I don't mind if I go in one direction early in the session and then I get stopped out going the other direction. I at least for my trading, I don't think that's a bad thing to do. But I really traded the second trade. I paid too much for the first trade, which was the problem. And then on the second trade, I stayed too long. I was wrong in what I thought could happen, and I didn't exit that quickly. So Tuesday was a bad day. Minus $600. Coming into Wednesday, Wednesday was a pretty good day. Here we go. Yeah, so Wednesday was really what I like to see. Broke the 30-minute high, and the momentum was there, just pushing it. So I was just waiting for the 30-minute range to break. It does. I get long, and at this point, so before I sold, I was looking for consolidation. I was looking for another leg higher. And especially this big red candle, I mean, this spooked me a lot. So I kind of got saved a little bit by this green candle taking it back. But once that red candle came in, so even at this point, I like the trade, I want to stay. Once I see this, even this red candle's fine. But once I see this, now I'm thinking we can come back and retest it, which is fine. It's still bullish, but that's pretty much where I'm long. So I'm looking at, either break even stop or just not green on the day anymore. So once this candle came in, bringing us back up to the 60, I started looking for the door. And yeah, just a couple minutes later, I ended up calling it, getting out. And it ended up being a good move because the weakness did come in. We came down to the 30-minute range, bounced, and then broke through it, and then spent the rest of the day in that 30-minute range. So I'm incredibly happy with this trade. This is a 10 out of 10 trade to me. This is what I look for. I had no problems executing it, just got in. And then when the weakness came in, I was able to recognize it and I got out before it got any worse. So this was really a phenomenal trade, just one and done. I don't know why. I don't really have a reason for my trading style to have wanted to short this. But if I did, this was a really nice short here. I mean, if I shorted it, I would have been out, whether I get stopped or exited right around the 30-minute high, because this looks really bullish to me. It ended up not being so, but this is a nice little break and then retest, and it can rip. So I don't know why I would have had a reason to short this and stay, but it was a good short that was available a little bit later in the session. But Wednesday was a good day. Getting into Thursday, Thursday was a very good day. This was the best day of the week. So I got in for a break above the 30-minute range. We broke, and then as we rose, I started thinking that we could come back and retest. So I sold pretty high. I didn't top ticket, but I was able to sell pretty high. Waited through the consolidation, and this is the trade this is the best trade of the week for me. Is I waited through the consolidation. I got in right at the tail end of the consolidation, rode the next wave higher, and then as the next wave higher started to show a little bit of weakness, I got out. Very, very simple, very well executed trade. So this is 10 out of 10. This is absolutely 10 out of 10. This is a very good trade, and this as a day is a 10 out of 10 day. I mean, I can't ask to do any better than this. So getting into Friday, Friday I opened with a loss. So I was thinking that we could break the 30-minute range, and we failed it, came back down. So I have no problem with that trade. I just paid too much for it. So I waited too, my stop was too low, or I just waited too long to exit. Um, Looking at it now, this is an okay short. Similar to on Monday, Monday was a look below and fail, so then we rise. Today was a look above and fail, or Friday was a look above and fail. So it looks above, reverse for the short. Um, but then the short really had no follow through, and that's what attracted me to the second long here. So I tried the long, it didn't work, but then we didn't even make it to low of range before we started turning around, and then we're consolidating near the highs, near the 30-minute highs. So I'm thinking we could break the 30-minute range. So I ended up picking up 2 contracts, and we did break the range. I let one go, and I was holding another one for a runner, for a big move. And once we broke below the 30-minute range, I got really skittish about us going higher. So then when we broke back above the 30-minute range, I just got out. And I'm glad I did, because this would have been a stop out at some point. We did go to the low of the 30-minute range. And then we went back above it, grinded higher, back below it. Okay, so this was just kind of a sideways day in the end. And that's it. That's week 1. So I ended up the week with a win rate of 61.54%. It feels pretty good. And I've put on positive $488.60. So that's a good spot to be. I'm on Topstep 50K accounts. So my goal is to reach 3K to move to the next stage. So this is about 15%, maybe 17% of the way there in 1 week. Got to be happy with that. Tuesday, my trading was just really bad, and I ended up locking in kind of a bad loss on the day, but recovered Wednesday through Friday with some really good trading. Really happy with Wednesday's trade, really happy with Thursday's trade. Friday's trade was okay. So coming into next week, the big thing I want to do, especially on the short side, is for that first trade, that opening trade, I got to find a way to keep it a cheap trade, because I was able to show myself on Monday. Monday I opened with a loss, but the trade was so cheap that my next trade made up for it and then some. So as long as that first trade I can keep it cheap, I feel confident in my ability to, if it's a loss, at least look for an opening for a second trade, and hopefully make up for the loss on the first one if there is one. So that's the big takeaway from the week to improve upon is cheap first trade. The strength of the week is I actually feel I traded the breakouts pretty well. I didn't overstay overall. So on Tuesday I overstayed, but on Wednesday I didn't overstay, Thursday I didn't overstay, and Friday I didn't overstay. So once I'm in a winning trade, I've been managing them well. I've been recognizing the weakness and or when the market's going to go the other way and just getting out. So that's a strength that I want to bring into next week. I don't want to let that go. And just finding a way to to keep that opening trade cheap, I think will be a recipe for success.